Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial, we are going to be working on these Christmas door hanger, wall hanger, wherever you guys want to hang it basically. But what this is this one right here. I found this at a resale shop or like a thrift store, and I thought that is adorable. So I bought it, and then I sat down and recreated it the best I could, writing down the pattern. And then I made it into a tutorial for you guys. Basically, that's exactly what I did. So, and it's got this round part at the top. So I think it may be for a door, like a doorknob, or, I just been hanging it on my wall. But it's got these pretty bells, which it's a little bothersome to me because I can't find bells that sound like this. Like, these are the only ones I could find. Hear the difference? Like, these sound so pretty. I can't find bells that sound that pretty. But anyway, so this is the one I've recreated and we're going to make today on my channel. So they measure. Mine is a little tad bit, tiny bit shorter than the one I found. But the one I found measures about 22. And then mine is about 21. So mine's about an inch shorter. But I'm sure if I gave it a good tug, because this one is pretty old. So if I give mine a good tug, I'm sure it'll loosen up and be that long. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need. You're going to need red, white, and green yarn. Now I'm just using Red Heart Super Saver. If you don't have Super Saver, just any red, white, and green 4-weight yarn will be perfect for it. And then I used a 5.5mm crochet hook. Then you need scissors, a stitch marker, and a needle that will fit through the bottom of your bell. So here is my big old bag of bells that I have, and I bought all these. I don't know, they were like $1, and I finally decided to use the 20mm bells, and I got these from Walmart. And basically what you're gonna need to do is make sure, sorry for the loud, make sure that your needle will fit through the base of the bell, like that, because that's how we're gonna sew the bell to our little hanger. But you guys can go with any bells you want. I just chose to do the 20mm. They had 13mm, and then they had these red and green ones at Dollar General. And it comes with tiny ones. Like that one right there is really little. And then, they got a little bit bigger. It doesn't say the sizes. No, it doesn't. But I got these and I thought, I really wanted silver. So I went to Walmart and I found these 2 packs and just decided to buy them both just in case these were too big. And I ended up going with these, the silver 20mm bells. Okay, so the last supply you're going to need, which isn't really necessary, you can just sew everything on, is a hot glue gun. So basically what we're going to do with the hot glue gun is we just put a little drop right here and hold this red down, a little drop here to hold that red down. We hot glue our leaves down and then our berries onto the leaves. You don't have to hot glue this at all. You could actually just take some thread and sew everything down, and it'll, some yarn and sew everything down, and it'll look just fine. And that's it. So get your supplies together and let's get started. Okay, to get started, we're going to get a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Single crochet into the second chain from hook. So not this one, but this one right here. And then we're going to single crochet into each of our remaining chain across. All right, so go ahead and finish single crocheting down your chain, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got one more chain to work into here with my single. And now to move on to round 2, we're going to chain 1, and then into that same single crochet that chain that we just worked that single crochet into, we're going to work 3 double crochet. And as we work this, we're going to let our work oops, that was a half. Get out of there. Let our work rotate. So now what we're seeing is the bottom of our chain. Okay, so we've got 1 double and we need 3. So that's 1. Still into that same chain. I got my tail. 2, 3. Oh, excuse me, chain 2. And then we're going to go right back in there with 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And now we are going to finish round 2. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. Oops, just bumped my light. Okay. So what we're going to do to finish row 2 is chain 1, and then we're going to come over and into this very last chain. So if you look, the very last chain is right there, right under that first single crochet. We're going to go right into there with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and go right back in there with 3 more doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And that is the end of, I'm going to say round 2. Okay, so row 1, well, we made like a rainbow, didn't we? Like here's 2 clouds and a rainbow. So there was row, I'm going to say row 1, and then as we worked row 2, we rotated and then came across, and this is going to be the little hanger at the top. Okay, so now to move on to row 3, we chain 1 and 2 and turn. So we're going to come right up to this chain 2 space and work 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, go right back in there with 1, 2, and 3 doubles. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come over and into this next chain 2 space, we're going to work the 3 double chain 2. Yarn over, and we're going to work the 3 double chain 2, 3 double, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that was the end of row 3. So to move on, we're going to chain 2 and turn, and we're going to start row 4. Now row 4, we just come straight into this next chain 2 and work the 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, go right back in there with 3 doubles. 1, 2, oops, 3. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then jump across to this next chain 2 and work 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 double. 1, 2, 3. All right, that was the end of row 4. Okay, so to move on to round 5, we chain 2, turn, come right to that chain 2 space with 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and go right back in there with the 3 doubles. And 3. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jump across to this next chain 2 and then work our 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and right back in there with 3 double. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that's the end of round 5. So to move on to round 6, chain 2 and turn, and this is what we should have so far. All right, so we're going to come right up to that chain 2 and work our 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. Chain 2, go back in there with 3 double. Oops. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now what we're going to do is bring up the chain 6 to that chain 5, and then this chain 6 to this chain 5 to that chain 5, to where it's pinched together like that, and we're going to single crochet over all 3 of those. So we're just going to come down, catch all 3, bring your loop up, and single crochet. So it should make what looks like a little web. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then come up to our next chain 2 and work 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. Chain 2, go back in there with 3 doubles. Okay, now I'm going to stop and show you guys what you should be having. Now make sure these chains aren't getting twisted inside that single crochet. But other than that, it's just that, you know, just single crochet over all 3 chains. Okay, so we just finished round 6. And we're going to go on to round 7 by chaining 2 and turn. And right into that chain 2 with 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 2, go back in there with 3 doubles. Oops. Now we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to jump across all that and go right to that next chain 2 with our 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is what you should be having. We have a web, a straight line, and then what we're going to do is repeat rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want you guys to work that repeat 4 more times. So we should have 5 of the chain 4s that we just worked for row 7, and then we should have 5 of our little webs, okay? So repeat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Repeat that 4 more times, and I will meet you when we get to the end of round 7. Okay, so I'm back, and I have repeated 3 through 7 4 more times. So I have the web and the chain. 1, web and chain 2, web and chain 3, web and chain 4, web and chain 5. So that should be, if I did my math right, there should be 27 rounds that we have so far. So round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yay! Okay, so we have one more row that we need to work before we finish off the white. So here's the 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Here's the chain, chain 4, and then I work my 2 double, chain 2, 2 double, and we're gonna move on to round 28, which is the last round. We're gonna chain 1, 2, and turn, and we're gonna double crochet into the chain 2. Well, we're gonna work 3 doubles into that chain 2, chain 2, 3 doubles right back in there. Uh-oh, I got my yarn turned backwards. Okay, now go back in there with your doubles, and then we're going to chain 1 and come right across to that next chain 2 with 2 doubles, or well, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, chain 2, and 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we're going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Scissors, scissors, scissors. Okay, so cut, pull up a loop. Now you can go ahead and weave in the ends, but we've got a few more parts that we need to make, and I'll weave mine in when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side, and we're going to move on to the, get the one I got from my resale shop. We're going to move to the solid red centerpiece that runs the length of our white. We're going to work on that now. So for that, we're going to get out our red yarn. And we are going to get a slip knot on our same 5.5mm hook. And we're going to chain 75. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me chain 75. I'm going to chain my 75, and I'll be right back. Okay, and with the power of movie magic, I've got my big old long chain done. Okay, so to start row 1 of our center red piece, we're going to double crochet into the third double, or the third chain from our hook. So not that, not this one, not this one, but this one. 1, 2, 3. So right there, we're going to work a double. And then we are going to double crochet into each remaining chain all the way down. So this one's pretty simple. All right, go ahead and work all the way down that chain, and I will meet you when we get to the last few chains, okay? I will be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my chain. I have a few more chains that I need to work into. 1, 2, 3, and the very last one. Okay? All right, so now what we're going to do, we are going to rotate our work. So, you know, we're just going to turn it like this, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets around, or not around, I'm sorry. We're just going to go into the center of the double. So all I'm doing is just inserting my hook into that double crochet. Like right straight through the middle of it. Not around it because that leaves too big of a hole. Tighten my chain up here. I'm just going right into it. And working 2 singles. And now I shouldn't have tightened that chain up so tight, but we're going to go right into where the double crochet came down into that very last chain. We're going to work two single crochets right into there. Get my tail out of the way. So now we've made that full rotation, and now we're looking at the remaining chains or remaining loops from our chain. Okay? And now what we're going to do is work a single crochet into the bottom or into the remaining loops of each chain. So basically, if you look, you can see the bottom of all those doubles through here, and right into there is where we're going to work a single all the way across. Can you guys see that? All right. So you guys go ahead and just, what I do honestly is I just look for the legs of my double crochet and then just insert, like if you just push your hook right to where those legs are, right there is where you need to go. So here's the top of my double right here. Here's the yarn over and pull through, and then here's the 2 legs. So if I just put my hook right where the 2 legs are, right there is where that single crochet needs to go. Okay, so that's all we're going to do is single crochet all the way down this side. And I will meet you when we get all the way to the end, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end, and I've got 2 more double crochets that I can single crochet in underneath. All right, so now we are to remember the 2 chains that we skipped to work our first double? So what we're going to do is go right straight into that chain. Actually, what I'm going to do is go through the 2 loops of the chain that's sticking out right there, and I'm going to work 2 singles. So now we're rotating it back to the way it was. So now we're if you look, right here is the top of that very first double crochet. We're going to work 2 singles into that. 1 and 2. Now what we're going to do is just work a single into each double crochet. Whoa. So just keep single crocheting all the way back to the beginning. All right, I will meet you down here. Okay, so I'm coming back to where we started, and I've got 2 more double crochets to crochet into, single crochet into, or no, just one, because right there, no, that's our first double, and then the next stitch is the top of our first single, and that's where we're going to slip stitch. And chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. I cut mine a little bit ago. Okay, so there's our centerpiece that we're going to weave through this. Okay, so you can go ahead and weave in your tails if you want to. I'm going to set mine to the side and I'll weave those in later. Now we move on to making our little berries and our leaves. So we're going to do leaves first, and I want to start off by saying that, well, I should say, for those of you that don't know, I found this at an antique mall, thrift store, resale shop, whatever you want to call them. And so what I did is I sat down and I picked through it and wrote down the pattern and then remade it, and then I remade it again for you guys on YouTube. Well, the hardest part of this entire piece is the leaves. It was not fun. I did not like doing the leaves, but here is my leaf. And if I set it on here, it's dang near exact. Okay, so you are going to need 2, 4, 6 leaves. So we are going to get our green yarn. I got bells all over the place. All right. And we are going to make some leaves. Find my pattern. All right, we are going to start with a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into the second chain from our hook. So not this one. That's our first chain. There's our second chain. We're going to work 3 single crochets into there. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to come right back down, and we're not going to slip stitch into the chain. We're going to slip stitch into the single crochet that we worked right before that chain. So basically we're going to insert our hook right into that single crochet, just like we would if we were working into that single crochet, you know, from left to right, right to left, whichever. But what we're going to do is we're going to come down and go in there upside down a little. And we're right into the top of that single crochet. We're just working the slip stitch into the side of it and slip stitch. So that creates a little poke. Okay, so now we're going to come back to our chain and we're going to single crochet into the next chain. Into the next chain, we're going to work the 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come right back down and insert your hook into the top of your single and work a slip stitch to where it's kind of in the side of the single crochet. Now we're going to single crochet into the next chain. And then there's 1 chain left, and we're going to work the 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to have to rotate a little bit, you know, around that last chain, which is no problem at all. Okay, so chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to come down, slip stitch into that first single. We're just inserting it into that last single crochet we worked before the chain. It's just a little wonky. And then we're going to slip stitch And that's the end. So now, if we hold our work like this, the first little picot we made right here, and here's the second, here's the third still on our hook that we just made. See that hole right there in the center? We're going to come right to that and slip stitch. Okay? And now get your little pieces to the front of your hook, and then in the back, chain one, pull up a loop, and cut. And that is how we're going to make our leaf. So rewind that if you need help. My my email is in the description box to help. But another way that to finish the leaf, I should say, to make it nice and solid, is we're going to take these tails and we're just going to weave them around that hole that's still there in the center. Well, this tail we are. And I'm just going underneath some of those single crochets that I worked. Right through the legs of them. Pull that tight, and it closes up that hole. And go through a few more. Get off there. Alright. And there we go. Now I'm just going to cut that end. Alright, now this tail, see how there's still these two parts? I'm going to take this tail and I'm going to weave through this part and then right through that part and then pull them together like that. So it'll pull them close. So I'm going to come right over and I'm just running it through some yarn. I have no idea what I'm working into. And now I'm just going to set these two pieces together and go straight through both of them. Now this one I don't want to pull too tight because I don't want to take away the shape. There. And then I'm just going to keep weaving back across there. Alright, cut. And there are our leaves. So you guys, you're going to need 6 of them. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so get your 6 leaves made. And we're going to move on to our little berries. So I'm going to get my red yarn back. Okay, so for our little berries, we are going to get a slip knot on our hook and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch to your very first chain to form a ring. I'm just wiggling my fingers in there so I can find that center hole. Chain 1, and we are going to work 8 single crochet into the ring. So 1, stop, and we're working in a circle, so we mark it. Of course, I can't reach it. We're going to mark that first single crochet with a stitch marker. So that's 1, 2, 3. Get that out of there. I'm working over my tail. Is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now pull that tail to close your ring, and you don't have to weave this in because we're going to hide it inside the berry. All right, so that was round 1, and we're going to move on to round 2. And all we're going to do is work a single crochet into each single. So there's 1, mark that. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to poke out that center. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that was the end of round 2, and to go on to round 3, we're going to do this exact same thing. Single crochet into the first, mark it with a stitch marker. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the very last one is 8. All right, and to end our little berry, we're going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet, the same one we had marked. Work a slip stitch, chain 1, and then pull up a long loop. And we need a long one because we're going to use that to close up the berry. All right, so pull that tight, and now I'm going to take this center tail and I'm just going to squish it inside the berry, just like that. And now I'm going to take my tail, load it onto my needle, and what I'm going to do is just go in and out the tops of these singles. So I slip stitch into this one. So into the very next one, I'm going to go in and then come out. Pull that through. And I'm going to leave a little bit of a loop here just so I know where I started, okay? So in, out, in, out, in, out. Make sure you go under, in, and I got one more, and out. So I'm back to my beginning little loop here, so I can just pull everything tight, and now it tightened up on my finger. So pop your finger out of there and just pull it real tight. And now if you look, here is where our yarn is coming out. Now you see, I'm going to hold it right like here. See this little strand right there? So if I rotate it, see that strand that sticks out right there? Like the rest of the yarn is going this way, and then there's a piece of yarn coming across the top. What we're going to do is I'm going to run my needle right underneath there. See it? Run my needle right underneath there. Pull it a little bit to where it leaves me a little loop. And I'm going to put my needle right back through there and pull tight. Now what that's doing is knotting it up so the tail won't come back out. And now I'm going to take my needle and run it right through the berry. Come out somewhere. Pull tight. And cut. And now your tail should pop back inside of the berry. And there's our little berries. Now I've made 9 of these. Now here's the thing. I noticed that the one that I bought it only has 3 berries in the middle, and it doesn't have berries on the ends, these 2 ends. I kind of thought, I don't know, like I don't like that it didn't have berries there. I don't know, it just looked odd to me. So I ended up putting my berries on it, and I thought, yeah, I like the way that looks better. So that's how I came up with, making the 9 berries. If you don't want to have that many berries, like if you want to keep it like this one where there's no berries at the beginning and the end, that's perfectly fine. Can you hear all my little berries I'm dropping? Anyway, that's up to you guys. I did choose to do the berries, or do all 9 berries because I liked them. Okay, so get your berries made, get your leaves made, and come back and we are going to assemble. Okay, so I've got all my ends weaved in and I am ready to assemble. So I've got my piece laid out, and this part right here is the top. This is what you can hang on your doorknob or on the wall or whatever you want to do. So now I'm going to take my inside piece, untangle or unwarp it. And I'm going to start by coming in to underneath the web, bringing that to where the double crochets, like the very top of this, like the very back of this, you know, right at the top, sits right on this chain one, right like that. And we'll adjust it more later. But basically what we're going to do is weave this in and out, in and out, in and out, so that the chains, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the chain 4s are to the back of the red and the webs are on the front. So just like this. Come in, chain is in the back, web is in the front. Chain is in the back, web is in the front. Chain is in the back, web in the front. Keep doing that until we get to the end. And now our end is going to set right on that chain space. So chain space to chain space, give it a little tug, get everything nice and laid out. Turn on my hot glue gun. Now, here's the thing. I am just going to use hot glue to hold everything together, to put my leaves on, my berries, not my bells. I'm not going to hot glue the bells down. That's what I'm choosing to do. If you don't want to, just take a piece of, you know, like for instance, attaching the red to this white right here. Just take red and sew it to there. And then, you know, if you're sewing down the leaves, you know, use green to sew the leaves to everything. But I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to hot glue it. Okay, so once my hot glue gun gets nice and ready, we will, all I do is put a little dab right here, hold it to that white chain one right there, and then come down here and do the same thing at the other end. If I sound funny to you guys today, I don't know why, but my, like I feel like congested, but I feel like I sound congested, but I don't feel congested. It's weird. I don't know. Anyway, let's see if this is hot. Not quite yet. All right, I'm going to let that finish heating up, and I will be right back. Okay, hot glue gun is ready. So I'm just going to run a bead right there and then set my red on it. Hot. Well, it came right off of it. All right, now I'm just going to hold this until it dries. I got my bells out. The hot glue goes through the yarn, gets on your finger. It is hot. Okay, now I'm just going to do the same thing at this end. Run a little bead right here. And just set the end of that right there. I got it on my tabletop protector. Pick it off there later. Okay, so that's dried. Now I'm going to start adding my leaves. All right, so I'm going to put my 2 leaves here, and then we'll attach a bell there. Leaves here, attach a bell here, and then leaves here. So for the placement, I'd kind of like a really I'm going to set them like that. And then leave a little bit of a space in the center, so that's where I can glue the holly, the holly berries. So glue there. And come down to this last one, get them positioned how I want them, and run a bead of the hot glue right underneath there. And now I'm going to just glue my berries in a cluster. I'll get them in a cluster like that. Hold them with my fingers. Pick them up. Run hot glue on the bottom. Bring it down and hold it on top of the green. I'm just going to hold that there for a few minutes. Oh, it looks good. I may go in between. Well, no, I don't need to. It's going to take a minute to hold them. Okay, so I held those down for a little bit and they're nice and sturdy. So I'm going to come to the next group of leaves and get my berries together. I'm going to hold them just in a cluster like that. Turn it over. Run a bead of hot glue all around. And then just set it. I'm going to hold it again, so I'll be right back. Okay, I held that for a little bit. Oh, it looks good. Okay, last set of berries. Just get them positioned to how I like them. I like that. I'm going to pinch all three. Pick them up. Run hot glue. Not on my finger. Oh, my fingers. Ah! And I'm going to pinch it down. I hope I did it right because I was scared it was going to get me. There's nothing worse than getting hot glue on your finger and there's nothing you can do because it's that darn hot. Okay, so I'm going to hold these and I will be back in just a second. Okay, I held that down for a little while. And our berries are done. This is so, I am so happy, you guys. I did so good. Okay, so now let's do the bells. Since these are going on to white, I am going to use my white yarn. I don't know if I can. Yep, my needle will go through there. So I'm just going to thread my yarn on my needle. Go through the bell. I'm just going to pull out enough so it's like that. So probably about a good 8 inches maybe. I mean, like this is 8 inches and this strand's 8 inches. It doesn't matter because all we're going to do is go right on top of that single crochet that's holding those 3 chains together. And just, I'm going to go one strand through one side, one strand through the other side, and tie a knot in the back and then just weave the ends in. Just like that. Alright. So get this end. I'm going to go, so we have 1, 2, 3 spots, or like, I'll say chain holes, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go right into the middle one. And bring that to the back. Now I'm getting that as close to that single crochet as I can. And I'm going to follow the same thing on this side. Just going to go as close to that single as I can. Bring it to the back. Now I'm just going to tighten a knot. So I think what I'm going to do now is put both of these strands on my needle. And I'm going to bring it through the red to the right out the side, so I can get to these double crochets to weave in this tail through the doubles. I guess you don't have to. I mean, you could just cut them and leave them on the back. Get that nice and straight so I'm not messing it up. I'm just going to cut it right there. Okay, do the same thing with this side. Cut me a piece, load it on my needle, go through my there, and now I'm going to bring it right into that middle chain space, as close to that single as I can. Pop it through there, get this side on my needle, go right into that center one as close to that single as I can, bring it, get off there, bring it down, flip, tie this in a knot, put these two ends on my needle. Now I'm going to trim these so they're the same size, same length, or close enough. And I'm going to come right back through that red, and I'm going to come right into these doubles and weave it in the bottom. But don't pull too tight. I don't want anything to warp on the front. We are going to weave in these ends. I'm going to call that good. Cut. And there we go. I am so happy, you guys. It is so adorable. I love it. I hope you guys make this, and then if you do make it, check out my description box because I have links to my Facebook group, my Instagram page, my Twitter account. Follow me on whatever you guys choose to use, and send me a picture and tag me in it so I can see your pretty stuff that you guys make, that I've come up with anyway, that I designed. Yay, I'm so happy. Alright guys, as always, you guys know you're the greatest. There's no other subscribers like you guys. I love you all. Alright, thank you guys so very, very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And check out the description box where there's links to all kinds of stuff. Plus my email address if you need any help whatsoever. Email me and I will be glad to help you. I've made quite a few little friends through email for the people that need help. We just kind of strike up a friendship. Okay, so that's it, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.